I'm not throwing a funeral for the dying Pac-12. The people that are the sentiment of, oh, so sorry, I couldn't care less. I'm excited for the future of the Big 12. 3 years ago, we thought teams like Baylor and TCU and Texas Tech, where are they going to go? Will they be Power 5? Will there be 4 conferences? Now it is established the Big 12 is the third best conference in college athletics because, not with just Colorado, but because of what's going to come. The Big Ten is not holding out for Washington and Oregon. They've made that clear at their media days. They are not holding out for Washington and Oregon. If you are a Washington fan and Oregon fan, you can keep dying with the Titanic. You can keep holding on to the Titanic. You've got one lifeboat that's full. You have one lifeboat that has multiple spots, and they're both really good lifeboats. The Big 12, they've got spots for you. You keep waiting on this lifeboat that's already full. Washington and Oregon, like, oh, we're too good for the lifeboat with seats in it. We're going to wait on the one that has all the people. Not how it works. That's how you fall in the water and you die. Washington and Oregon will have to opt to the Big 12. The Big 10 doesn't want them. I truly think the Big 10 is holding out for those ACC schools, those 7 schools that will be poached at some point. They're holding out for a Notre Dame. They're holding out for one of those brands. And if you are Washington and Oregon and you sit around and you wait, it won't work out. You won't get picked up. Brett Yormark's cutthroat, man. When he's done with this, he's going to be done. And I legitimately see a realm where Oregon and Washington show up late to this party, and they might not get an invite. Because if Arizona's on the phone, which we've heard rumors they are, if Arizona State's on the phone, they seem like a package deal. Utah even. As much as Utah hates the Big 12, I don't understand why Utah hates the Big 12 so much. Why they're so angsty about the possibility of joining the Big 12. Like, dude, get over yourself. You were the Mountain West a couple years ago. You get no respect. Utah gets no respect in college athletics. You know why? Because you're the second biggest show in town. You're the state school in the capital city. And people still really don't care compared to BYU. Sorry. It's the way that it is. So if you're a Utah fan, we're going to go to stay in the Pac-12. No, get ready to go to the Big 12. Arizona schools get ready to go to the Big 12. And if you're Oregon and Washington, you want to be on that boat because there's a realm in which Yormark's not going to take these beggars and he's not going to beg you. If the Big 12's already loaded up, the Big 12 hits that like 15, 16 team mark because you were at 12 and then you added Colorado at 13. And then you think about, okay, Arizona, 14, Arizona State, 15, Utah, 16, and then Oregon and Washington, 17 and 18. It's not going to happen. It's common sense. It's common sense. You cannot build a conference where 10 teams are new to that league. There is no way you can make that jump. There's no way you can make that jump safely. And Brett Yormark knows that. That is a huge risk. And you start getting schools like the Washington and Oregons who are the prima donna types, who are, we make these demands and this demand. And Brett Yormark, not about that. We don't need that. The Big 12 could stop at 13. And even, I know I crapped on it earlier, but even add Gonzaga or UConn for basketball and kind of have them as the, if it's UConn, have them as a Vanderbilt of football and bring those schools in and say, all right, 14, we're good. You want in? Sorry. Another ship reference. Noah's Ark. People are just banging on that thing. Just trying to get in. Noah's like, dude, I got 2 of every animal. I got my whole family in this piece. I'm done. I don't need you. I think Brett Yormark's going to be like that based on what he's shown us. He's like, look, dude, I put damn good food at these conference tournament games, and I call the shots. Kliavkoff, I don't get why he's so bad. You don't have to be that bad, man. Bob Bowlesby, for as much as we crapped on Bob Bowlesby for a long time in the Big 12, like, this guy sucks. You heard that a lot. He had some gumption. Dude went and got new teams. And that was awesome. Yeah. Just kind of proves that Kliavkoff's a really bad commissioner. And nobody really does anything about it. He's going to allow Washington and Oregon to jump ship. The only thing that he can do at this point is sign a really big TV deal, which won't happen, especially without Colorado and Deion Sanders. That won't happen. The only other thing he could do is bring on San Diego State and Fresno State. It won't happen. We just saw the San Diego State thing blow up in everybody's face. So what else is there to do? What's the best case scenario right now for the Pac-12? Maybe Brett Yormark allows Kliavkoff to be deputy commissioner of the Big 12 and takes 6 teams. If you were a Cal fan, if you were a Stanford fan even, right? I get it. They got a huge, huge brand, and I would love Stanford in the Big 12, but they're not on the top of that list. These schools don't want to play with religious schools. They don't do that. And they're going to lose a lot of money because of it. They're going to lose a lot of money. Dude, that like the politics thing gets wrapped up in all of this. And it didn't have to really, be political. You didn't have to be like, oh, we will not play with religious schools. Dude, it's just, we're just doing sports, man, in a conference. And these teams are going to get left behind. If you're an Oregon State fan, I'm sorry. But what's next? It's Washington, it's Oregon, it's Arizona State, it's Utah. It's some conglomerate of those 5 will be in the Big 12 by next week. No reason to stay in the Pac-12. They know that, man. These people have to be smart enough to know there's no reason to stay in the Pac-12. There aren't enough teams that can sustain to stay together. It's just not going to work. It's not. And I said that 3 months ago. I said, look, it's a bad business. That's a bad business right now in the Pac-12. It's not going to work. And it hasn't. And what's going to cut that short? What's changing? It's nothing. What's the best case scenario? Again, Kliavkoff gets to be a deputy commissioner in the Big 12. At this point, like, you should be begging Brett Yormark for that. What does this mean for Baylor? Well, this means that it's a Locked On Baylor podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.